Hello, thank you for tuning into this fast chat on application security. My name is Daphne Krause. Today I'm speaking with Rampart AI's co-founder, Lee Krause. Lee is a leader in the cybersecurity sector, coming up with solutions to keep cyberspaces secure, and has more than 25 years of software engineering experience. Hi, Lee.
Hey, thanks for having me, Daphne.
Thanks for being here. So today we are discussing how businesses are being breached, leaving their customers and themselves vulnerable. Now more than ever, cybersecurity is something companies are working to achieve, but not always getting right. We need to be building security in, and that's what we are here today to talk about. So I have some questions for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Awesome. So Lee, tell me about the current state of application security. Is it truly broken?
Well, I don't think it was ever fixed. So the real issue with application security, it needs to move away from just being a guideline for an organization and focus on making sure applications perform as designed. And I believe we want to identify the issues feeding them and feeding them back to the development team. Application security is a mix of proactive actions and monitoring the application in real time, feeding that back to the DevSevOps team. DevSevOps is a piece of the puzzle, not the answer to application security. And you can't patch your way to security. Basically, continuous integration plus third-party software plus real-time threats equals continuous risk.
Wow, that is so true. I could not have said that better. So in your opinion, where are the cyber battles of tomorrow happening?
On this one, I don't think you need a crystal ball to see where we're going on this. The battles are really taking place in front of us today, and they're only going to get worse. You could look at SolarWinds, look for Log4j. The traps have already been laid. Third-party software, runtime threats, hitting the weakest link in the supply chain is the direction adversary is going to take and want to take advantage of.
Yeah. So we all know that the lack of security concern is that gateway for bad actors. Is this more so in the world of application development?
I think it's everywhere. The issue with application development is that we've created this concept of continuous integration. And so because we're continually changing things means you're ultimately continually bringing in risk. I think there are three areas that we really need to focus on if we want to get ourselves out of this. We need to test code in development environments and push them to production. Doesn't mean they're correct. So even though you test them in development and you think they're great, once you push them out, right, into deployment, all bets are off. We have to make sure they're running as expected in deployment. And that's kind of counterintuitive thinking, but that's really the mindset you need to be in. There needs to be constant monitoring of the application, and that needs to go deeper than just workload or alert analysis. We need to ensure that the application's behaving as designed and tested. And there's no accountability for security concerns. So until the boards have fiduciary duties for security, no one's really head is on the line. And I think that's important because someone needs to be responsible for it.
Perfect. So in your expert opinion, how should the world apply zero trust strategies in order to defend customers and their applications?
So this is a really interesting question. Zero trust is a very broad category. We could spend 10 minutes on zero trust. So in a nutshell, what we're really looking at, just simply stated, it's trust through verification. If you really think about it, and that applies at the user level, at the application level, applications talking to each application, as well as the application, how it performs. And I think when people start to really think about that, they understand we need to get rid of blind trust, right? And that's really been what has been ingrained in a lot of our thoughts, whether it's third-party applications, whether it's suppliers, it's all fits into that. So when you think about it, to me, from my angle, the most important pillar to me is the monitoring of applications at runtime to ensure it's operating correctly. I think this is so key because that's really how you make money, is your applications running as expected. And we need to ensure that. And so we need to take all our development is building things so that they can run as expected that allows us to be the lifeblood of the economy. So we need to focus on that lifeblood of the economy, make sure it's behaving and running as expected. I think that something that's really interesting is that the mindset of what adversaries want to take advantage of is very broad, and we have to protect against all of them. They only have to find one way in. And I think people need to realize that. I think another important concern is that we need to ensure that our tool chains that we use are secure. Because just because you're using a commercial tool or an open source tool doesn't mean it's secure. And if you think because you have it in your secure cloud environment, you're in good shape, I think you should think again, because that's not a true statement.
Okay, so let's get to your solution, Rampart. So today, Rampart provides true zero-day protection capabilities. Can you kind of explain how Rampart is doing this?
Sure. So Rampart looks at the problem a little bit different than most. Rampart really takes this concept that we can understand what your actual behavior is. And this approach allows us to understand what's good about your application. And in doing that, we can understand that how the application runs. Anytime it goes off the rails, we can immediately understand what's happened and the appropriate action that needs to be taken. So let me restate that for you. So we're kind of flipping the coin on the way application security should be done. We're moving away from being purely a vulnerability-based system. We're basically not trying to continually patch the moat. We're actually trying to understand how our application is supposed to work and ensure that it works as expected. And anytime it goes off the rails, we immediately know something bad's happened. This allows us to truly focus on zero-day attacks and catch them first time, every time. I think that's really critical because we can never patch our way to security. It's just not going to happen. And I think we need to find new methods, get away from just being purely vulnerability based, and look at how do we ensure applications run as expected.
Perfect. Lee, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Daphne.
And to our listeners, thanks for sticking around. For more information about Rampart AI's DevSecOps solution, you can head to rampartai.com. Until next time, stay secure.